What's up, YouTube? Steve here, and I'm coming at you with Car Extravaganzas episode 6. Now, episode 6 is going to include 6 tips on living in your car, because the title of today's episode is Car Extravaganzas, How to Live in Your Car. Now, these 6 tips may seem obvious, but they're very practical and absolutely necessary if you're going to live in your car. Now, I can't say that this is for everybody. You know, not everybody, in my opinion, can handle living in their car. So, with that being said, this is my way of helping those who want to make the move and, live in their car. So, here we go. Tip number 1, research. Oh man, I can't even emphasize how important this is, and that's why it's rule number 1. The reality is that living in your car is not an easy task, and depending on where you live, it can be very hard depending on your circumstances, depending on the laws of your city, depending on the type of gyms and storage units you have. I mean, there's so many variables here that I can't even tell you what they're going to be, because it could be anything. It could be at a certain time of night, there's a curfew in your town and cops raid every parking lot. I don't know. That's something you should know. That's something you need to research. So, step number 2, test run. Now, before you do any major researching on like how you're gonna shower or how you're going to hold all your furniture or what you're gonna do about, your bed, stuff like that, it's best to just do a test run for 2 days. And I say 2 days because you need to experience what it's going to be like to wake up in your car and then go to bed in your car on the same day, because that is important. That mentally is so clutch. Something that you don't even think about when you're going to move into your car when you're doing a test run, but you have to know what it's going to feel like to not have anywhere to go. That's the constant feeling of living in your car. So with that being said, if you're going to test run to know if you're going to move out in time, you have to spend one night in your car, wake up in the car, go about your day, work, school, etc. Then finish up your night, find a way to shower, and then go to bed in your car, wake up in your car, and then the next day, the second morning, you can make a decision on whether or not you want to move out of your car. Now, you're going to want to do a few things. I wrote this down. You want to check a few things when it comes to doing the test run. 1, you want to check your windows and your visors. Obviously, you can see right now I have some visors up. My whole car is enclosed so nobody can see, and it's really nice when I sleep. 2, comfort. I've managed to make my bed pretty comfortable. It's just the passenger seat reclined. I've got a little blanket here that I fold up in my lumbar so that way I don't get back pain at night, and it's actually worked very well. And just the overall space and cleanliness of my car makes it possible. And this is a Camry. It's a Toyota. It's a small car, but I made it work. Number 3, the size and the room of your car is very important. If you're trying to move out in a 95 Corolla or an Acura, then you might have a hard time. It's possible, but just know what you're in for. Leg room, sleeping, comfort, where are you going to hold your stuff, etc. And 4, the condition of your car. Now, this may not come into play until later, but if you're planning on moving into your car and you're driving a Lemon, you're basically moving into a house that's going to fall apart. You have to have a reliable car if you're going to live in your car. If your car is always on the brink of destruction and then you have to get it impounded, then you're screwed and you have nowhere to go. So if you're going to live in your car, very important to know you have to have a really, really good car in really great condition, or at least fair condition, that making maintenance on it won't be such an inconvenience to just sleeping and living. Okay, so tip number 3 is finding a good storage place. Now, the storage place that I have is open for 13 hours a day, and it's kind of random, from 7 to 8, 7 days a week. And that's fine because it's in the hours I need, and I honestly only go there about once a month to just put stuff that I don't need away, or pick up clothes that I don't wear very often, or check something on from some old books, or grab my guitar or something. And the storage units only cost me about $75, $80 a month, so it's pretty affordable, small price, and those things go up every 5 to 6 months in price, so it's an incentive to get out of there as soon as possible if you're living in your car. Now, the 4th one is gym. If you don't have a gym that isn't 24 hours or open late or at weird hours for you to take a shower, you're gonna find yourself in situations where you don't have time to shower, and the only time you're gonna have to shower is like really late at night or really awkward time. That's why 24-hour gym membership is ideal with showers, obviously. Plus, it's a great reason to stay in shape. You go to the gym, you work out for 30-45 minutes. If you don't already do that, then you take your shower. These increments of our day that we're adding to our lives by living in our car add up a lot. I've changed a lot of who I am and my habits based on just living in this car. Tip number 5 is finding good parking lots and park and rides in your area that, one, are not inhabited by cops or city owned or something like that. You want to check the details of this. If this is a place that's like in the middle of a highly populated area where cops are going to roll through all the time, then you're probably going to get rolled. If you're parking in a parking ride that's kind of in the woodsy area or off the freeway, and it's very quiet and it's dark, that's a better bet. I have 3 parking rides that I switch between on a regular basis, and I love them. And I honestly only sleep in my car like 4 days a week at most because I'm always staying with friends. So always check your sleeping situations, where you're gonna sleep. You have to have backups. You have to have 4, 5, 6. I remember when I first moved out of my car, I planned 8 places to sleep in. I have 8 places marked and in order to sleep in, and I only use about 4 of them now. So just better to have more and need less than have less and need more. You know what I'm saying? And last but not least, friends and family, resources, co-workers. If you're doing this alone and under the radar, then that's gonna be tough. And I'm just gonna let you know now, the reason I'm even doing this YouTube video is for my mental health. For me to have to talk about this, helps me so much. When I was holding it in for 3 months, only my sister knew, that was hard. And a friend knew and a couple other people knew, but I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't tell my parents. And it was the most liberating thing to be able to have friends and family, a lot of you, who have offered a place to stay and shower and sleep. So again, I truly value that, and I love you for those of you who have offered and you know who you are, and those of you who plan to offer and didn't offer, or who just don't have the space for me. I know that you would if you could, and I would too. So I appreciate you just watching this video. But it's super important. I mean, I've slept in so many places in the last 4 months. It's crazy, and I feel like a nomad. I'm literally just open to receiving, and people love it, and people love me, and people help me all the time. So there's a lot going into moving in your car, and it shouldn't be so scary because it really is not hard. Like, I'm in Temecula right now, parked at a Motel 6 because I wanted to have a good night's sleep tonight and get some work done and edit this video, and maybe have a few drinks and not have to worry about like sitting in my car. That's something that happens. This is like my 4th or 5th motel or hotel in the last 4 months. So it's just part of the game, and I pick and choose my battles. I did this to save money, but I've also lost a lot of money in this process. This is not the most efficient thing to do, but sometimes in life you just have no choice, and you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And maybe moving into your car for a couple months is actually not that bad of an idea. It might help you out of a tough situation like it did for me. So, I wish everybody the best of luck. Please feel free to message or email me at steve@vigilancestrength.com. That's steve@vigilancestrength.com. If you want to talk about it, if you need help, I can give you more advice on how I manage my diet and exercise routine while living in my car, but I just don't have enough time to, put that all in one video. Okay, guys, see ya.